So we're about to see the second race of the season for Classic Stock Catch. The first was yesterday, and the winner was the champion, Lee Scott.
Lee Scott, a great start to the Defence of your championship.
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't a very good start to the race, but it was an absolutely perfect finish to the race, so yeah, I'm well chuffed.
What happened at the start?
Well, I just got too much wheel spin, and Andy, along with a couple of others, shot right up alongside me or in front. Luckily, I was able to manage and pick them off during the race, but yeah, made my life a bit more difficult than it could have been.
Yeah, Andy certainly doesn't make life easy trying to get past, does he?
No, he's a really good competitor, and it was pretty clean. Yeah, and it was a real great race.
The grid for race 2 determined by the second fastest time set in qualifying, so it's Lee Scott and Andrew Lightstead on the front row, Andy Philpotts and Andrew Thorpe on row 2, Martin Foundry and Stuart Window on row number 3. Red lights go out, away we go. Good start there by Lightstead from the outside of the front row, and even better start by Andrew Thorpe from the outside of row 2 in the Citroën AX, and he's gone into the lead of the race. Fantastic start from him. Andy Philpotts wrestling with the wheel to try and hold on for dear life. He's in 4th position there. He started in 3rd, so he's lost 1 position, or maybe 2 actually, because that's Matt Rosier from the outside of the 4th row that's trying to go around the outside of him. He's got away very nicely indeed, but I think we'll find that it's the Citroën AX ahead of the Fiestas and the 205s. So it is Andrew Thorpe, car number 14, who finished 3rd in yesterday's race, that is at the front of the field. Go on board with number 34, Ben Ward. Now he started on the outside of row number 10. Here's Ford Fiesta XR2. Up ahead of him he's got the Suzuki Swift of Keith Morgan, a staunch supporter of the Classic Stock Catch Championship. And there it is, Thorpe leads, Lee Scott is second, and it was a great start from Matt Rosier with the number 2 on his car to get up into 2nd position there. His father Derek, number 7 in the similarly liveried car but with a paler orange stripe. A little bit further back down the order. There's Andrew Lightstead in the green car. The red car, number 6 is number 4 I should say, is Andy Philpotts. Just behind him, so Philpotts in 5th position at the moment. Lightstead, who yesterday finished the race in 8th position in the end. After a time penalty on problems for Ben Ward, I'm afraid, pulling off at Druids. It looks like Ben is out of the race. We had 2 non-starters, unfortunately, Greg Dowie and Chris Jones, able to take the start of this race. Problems yesterday, ruling them out. Here's Ben Ward. This is a replay of what happened here. Coming up towards Druids. Oh, yes, off onto the grass, into the barriers. That's what caused him to pull off then. Blue Bee Solutions backed car is out of the race, I'm afraid. Ward's day is done. He finished 19th yesterday. Lightstead and Philpotts then still battling. And it's Martin Foundry at the head of the next group. Also involved is the second of the Citroën AXs of Stuart Window. Lightstead on the outside of Philpotts here at Druids. Where is he? Has he got his nose to the front? Yes, he has. And he slices through on the inside there. So Lightstead it is, ahead of Philpotts. Not at the moment. It's the sharp end of the field. It's still Thorpe that's leading. There's the 2 of them battling a little bit further back for 3rd and 4th positions. Ooh, is that a little touch there maybe? Maybe not actually. Philpotts trying to find a way through on the inside of Lightstead, number 79, the Yorkshire-based driver. Philpotts, who had a win at Cadwell Park last year, he was delighted about it. Oh, bad news there for Stuart Window. It's curtains for him, isn't it? Because the number 82 car is going into retirement. Well, Philpotts now back ahead of Andrew Lightstead. It's a fantastic dice that these 2 are having, isn't it? Up towards Druids once again. This part of the circuit on the last lap, Lightstead cemented his advantage over Philpotts, but it's reversed since then. And he's number 90, Martin Foundry. Oh, what a spinner! And it's Matt Rosier, isn't it? Matt Rosier from 3rd position in actual fact has gone round. He's gone into the gravel as well, and I don't think he'll get out of there. Now that car not too far away from the edge of the circuit. So Rosier out of the race. and that's promoted that Lightstead and Philpotts battle into the battle for third. It was actually for fourth before. Having said that, I think that Philpotts has now got away from Lightstead a little bit, so Foundry now is up into fifth, and I think that's Derek Rosier in sixth place. Martin Kaiser is in seventh place. Matt Rosier getting out of his car, the runner-up last year, and he's so often been the runner-up in this championship. He'll be very frustrated at how his season has got underway. Yesterday he finished fourth in the opening round. It's not what he wanted at all. It's a very nicely turned out Peugeot 205, isn't it there? The 46 car of John Peerless. John, who finished 12th in yesterday's Classic Stock Catch race. Tremendous field of these cars that we have here. 28 of them attempted to qualify. We had 26 finishers yesterday, 26 starters today. So more Classic Stock Catches than Stock Catches these days. No doubt the affordability of it appeals. Here's a battle. It's Matthew Stubbington, number 67, ahead of, or alongside, Mervyn Beckett in the Nova, the former championship winning Nova, in the hands of Pip Hammond and Damien Cottrell, and Beckett goes through there ahead of Stubbington, who had an excellent 5th place finish yesterday. At the moment he's losing out to Mervyn Beckett in that wonderfully turned out Nova. Incidentally, Pip Hammond, who used to drive that car and took it to the title, is preparing a new Nova for this season. Not quite ready yet though, but we'll see him out later on in the year, I'm sure. So there's Philpotts having made that break from Lightstead now, third and fourth, and then it's this 3-car fight that's going on, with Martin Foundry just ahead of Derek Rosier, and then you've got the next car in the group which is just actually dropping back a little bit now. That's Martin Kaiser, the 45-year-old project manager from Coventry, his XR2i. It's his fourth full year in the Classic Stock Cats Championship. Car was a new build at the end of 2010. There's our leader then, Andrew Thorpe, still doing an excellent job here to keep the reigning champion Lee Scott at bay. He has been so successful in Stock Catch and Class B of Stock Catch down the years. These cars used to race in the main Stock Catch Championship, but they split out a couple of years ago, and it's done wonders for the interest in these older cars, which were becoming uncompetitive against the Saxos. There's this group of cars again. Foundry heading towards us, just with a bit more daylight between himself and Derek Rosier now, in the 6th position. Oh, and Rosier gets sideways, he's on the grass, and surely he's going to lose a place there. Yes, ooh, through on the inside goes Martin Kaiser, not without a bit of bodywork being exchanged though, as Rosier recovered. So both Derek and Matt Rosier have had a bit of an incident patch race. We have Paul Rosier as well in the race this weekend. He's a bit further back down the order in his first season of Classic Stock Catch racing. There's number 95, that's Edward Cooper making his return to the series. Number 13 is Michael Williamson in the blue XR2. See another Nova back out with Ted Cooper on board. Lou Thorpe still ahead of Lee Scott, about 3 or 4 car lengths in it then, but time starting to run out in this race now. More than likely only another couple of laps to go. And Thorpe hold on to what would be, I'm sure, a very hard fought and very emotional win for him. Through Paddock Hill Bend they go. The Citroën AX going very well here this weekend. It's a car that's been out in Classic Stock Catch before, but not seen Citroën AXs certainly up at the sharp end of the field for a little while, so it's good to see some more variety in the championship as well. XR2i does tend to be the car to beat quite often. There's a few quick examples out there with quick drives on board as well. There's number 11, which is Ryan Lowry. Just behind him is the number 35 car of Mark Webster. So you've got a couple of examples there of the XR2is. Lowry has been in Classic Stock Catch now for a few seasons, proving towards the end of last year. Last lap now for the race leaders then, and Andrew Thorpe has got a decent advantage here, about 4 car lengths ahead of Lee Scott. I'm sure it won't be plain sailing. Look at this, there are back markers ahead, including the number 99 car towards the back of the order. That's Gavin Johnson, the Skywheels Racing entry, a new team entering Stock Catch for this season, but it's been a slightly troubled debut for them. And more back markers to deal with as well for Andrew Thorpe and Lee Scott before the end of this race. Towards Surtees they go. There's the 41 car, and also there's the 22 car, which is John Hill in his Peugeot 205, and Thorpe just gets boxed in behind that 205, and Lee Scott pounces on pretty much the final corner of the race. Thorpe's trying to get a good run at him now as they come up towards the line. It's going to be Lee Scott though that just hangs on to take a last gasp victory in the Demon Tweaks Yokohama Classic Stock Catch Championship. Well, Andrew Thorpe must be feeling so disappointed with that. He'd led for virtually all of the race, and that getting boxed in by that 205 right at the end, well, really, he was done up like a kipper there, wasn't he? And Lee Scott took the win. Victory margin 17/100ths of a second for Lee Scott. Further 7.5 seconds back was Andy Philpotts in third. Leitstedt, Foudry, Kayser completed the top 6. Rosier 7th after his off. Matthew Stubbington in the end got the better of Mervyn Beckett once more.
Lee Scott, an opportunistic coming over there, I guess, at the end of that Classic Stock Catch race.
Yeah, purely a stroke of luck right in the last corner of the race, but I'll gratefully received, and thankfully another first for the weekend.
Yeah, so 2 wins this weekend. I guess you couldn't have asked for a more perfect start to the Defence of your Championship.
No, absolutely, it's a fantastic start. But there's some real good, strong competition as you've seen this weekend. So it's going to be a tough season again.
In that race, do you think you could have got past Andrew if it wasn't for that back marker issue on the last lap?
No, I think definitely not. No.
Okay, well, it must have been absolutely heartbreaking not to win that race, having led it for so long.
Oh, it was. I mean, to lead it from the first corner for the whole race, and then just lose it like that, unbelievable look. But yeah, I mean, it was my mistake at the end. I mean, I'd probably been lucky getting past the other back markers. Every back marker I'd overtaken on the outside of clearways, and then came up to them too. And I've chatted to the chap, and he said he was leaving me room on the inside, which he did, to be fair. And I tried to go to the outside, hit the back of him, and of course left the gap for Lee. But yeah, I mean, it's encouraging with the new car. I mean, I was hoping it'd go well, and it has. So it means that I can look forward to the rest of the season, and hopefully have another chance of leading the race, possibly a win.
Third place then for Andy Philpotts. Happy with that?
Yeah, given the start, I'm quite pleased with that. It took a long time to get past Andy Leitstedt. He put up a really good fight. It was a nice clean one as well this weekend, which was good. So second yesterday, third today. It's not a bad start.
And I guess it means you won't have quite as much ballast in as Lee will for the next round.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to make any difference with him. I think last year he had like 80 or 90 kilos, which was crazy, and he still kept on going.